Why are modern AI systems so good at understanding language, and what can this teach us about language learning? In the last few years, large language models have made leaps and bounds in understanding human language, and this has allowed for all the chatbots and image generators and stuff that we see today. But the underlying principle for how these models work is actually pretty simple, and most of the developments that have made these systems more intelligent have really just been about scaling up this simple process. At its core, language modeling is just about understanding what words mean based on the words around them. Under the hood, language models take all the words that you send to them and kind of arrange them into a block like this. So they put the same sentence on the top and the side, and then at the intersection of all these word pairs, they decide how important that connection is between those two words. And they know how to do this because in training, they'll basically remove one of the words from a sentence and ask the model to guess what would go there. And if the model guessed it right, the connections that helped it guess right are reinforced, making the model smarter. Like the word rock can only mean a few different things, but if we're talking about music, it means something very specific, and if we're talking about geology, it means something very different and very specific. So the connection between rock and music is going to make the model more likely to guess something like electric guitar if you're asking about something like that. But the connection between rock and geology would make it more likely to guess something like pickaxe or something. So these blocks called attention blocks, where words can kind of look at each other like this, are really important for how language models understand context. And this is something really important when humans learn languages too. When we're speaking a language we know, our brains are kind of automatically generating all these connections between the words we hear. But when you're learning a new language, you don't have that yet. So in order to train your brain to make these connections, tasks that remove a word from a sentence and then ask you to guess what goes there are actually really helpful. This is why fill in the blank tasks are really common in language learning apps and books. Because when you're trying to say something in a new language, you're basically just filling in the blank over and over again just at the end of the sentence. And this is exactly how language models generate text too.